let's bring in Doug Ottewill from Mile High Sports.
Come on,
the magazine,
Doug.
the radio station.
Happy
the TV
Victory
network.
Monday.
Happy.
Victory Monday.
Victory Monday deserves a man hug.
Yeah, I'm so happy.
All right, and a beautiful Broncos tie, man. I mean, there's going to be so much orange and blue around this town in the next 2 weeks. It's going to be crazy.
Thank you.
All right, look, dude. Peyton Manning, 2 first-half touchdown passes. Offense stalls out in the second half. Can't get a first down when it counts to win the game. But Peyton and the offense didn't. They scored enough points to win it, and that defense, I mean, spectacular.
And they didn't turn the ball over.
Right.
I mean,
the
aside
one
from
turnover, Hillman should have pounced on it.
Fluky play, which I still contend really replay could have gone either way.
Yeah, it wasn't definitive.
It was a 50-50.
But then, only turnover of the game right there.
And that's what these Broncos are. That's what Gary Kubiak is going to ask of them again in the Super Bowl.
Right.
Just let the defense win this game. Don't screw it up. I mean, that's the game plan. And it's frustrating to watch, but that's what it is. As Broncos fans, we need to accept that. Well, that's what this team is. That's what got them there.
Exactly. But we watched Cam Newton last night, and the Panthers. They got 7 turnovers out of the Cardinals, which obviously helped the offense.
Oh, huge.
Cam, they put up 45 points?
Yep.
49?
49-15.
49 points.
49-15.
49-15. We're going to have to score more than 20, I would think, to win the Super Bowl.
You'd think. You'd think.
Although you never know with this defense.
Everything else is
can they shut down can they hold the Panthers to 17?
There's 2 ways to look at this Panthers team. One, Cam presents problems that Tom Brady doesn't. He's just that much more active. He's that much more physical. So that's a different. I'm not going to say that this defense can't handle that, because I absolutely think they can. It's just different. They're going to have to game plan differently. Or you can look back a couple years ago when they dismantled Cam. And Von Miller was standing over him, doing the Superman, all those
7
things.
different guys had sacks in that game.
Yeah.
They really frustrated him.
We'll have to pull up that defense,
that defense wasn't as good as this defense.
Yeah.
Back then, they weren't anywhere near the caliber that this defense is. So I got to think that in the back of Cam Newton's mind, he remembers that game.
Oh, he has to.
And I don't, he's not going to come into this thinking, I'm going to do whatever I want to against the Broncos. The other thing is, how much stock do you put in the NFC? I don't think the NFC is as good as the AFC this year.
Wow, really? Okay.
That's kind of the opposite thinking of the majority of national media.
Well, I'm with Rod Smith on this one.
There you go.
Okay. Well, I think it's easy to get swept up in this whole thing. I mean, we've got the great story of Peyton Manning, right? I mean, this could be the walk-off Super Bowl where he cements his legacy as the greatest of all time. One of them. We have this defense, which is playing out of their minds right now. I got to believe that the Panthers are looking at this game going, you know what? This is the last team we want to play, because there's so much hype about the Broncos now. I mean, this is a team nobody picked, and now people are going, this is the most compelling story. This is the way we want to see this thing play out.
Yeah, they're the 2012 Ravens. And really, kind of, I was joking about Rod Smith, but there's a lot of similarities to what I saw going into Super Bowl 48, where the national media, almost to a man, had the Broncos winning that game because they had the greatest offense that could ever play. They put up all these paints. Peyton Manning was doing everything that's never been done. Who could possibly stop them? Oh, well, the Seahawks.
8 points.
And I see that the same thing, but opposite. People, you can't stop Cam Newton. Look at this team that he has. Look at the 49 points against the Cardinals. Well, I'd rather be in the Broncos' shoes right now.
Well, remember that game? That was the #1 defense against the #1 offense in the Super Bowl. We said it all week. #1 defense, #1 offense. How do you stop Peyton Manning? You can't. You can't stop this offense. And that #1 defense held him to 8 points that day.
Right.
So you're saying, why can't this #1 defense in Denver shut down Cam? I totally agree. But going in, though, I mean, you got to look at both sides, but it has been done. It's not like, oh, my gosh, you're going to have to score all these points to beat him. Well, not if the Broncos' defense shows up.
The other thing, and I think that you can't talk about it enough, but the Broncos' defense has tremendous personnel. Great pass. Von Miller was unbelievable yesterday. But really, Wade came up with a game plan that I think, for the first time, as long as I can remember, outsmarted Bill Belichick and Tom Brady.
Yeah.
And you have to look at it in that context, too, because if you're going to outsmart those guys, I'm sorry, but I don't see Carolina being anywhere near on that same wavelength in terms of Bill Belichick is one of the greatest game planners in the history of in the sport. So for the Broncos to go in and basically outwit them yesterday, I got to think that bodes well for him in this game.
Well, and the other X factor is This football team has won 11 games decided by 7 points or less, right? We've seen the Panthers this year. They steamrolled people. That's what happened yesterday. Can they win a close game? They've never been on this stage before. We've got players who went to that Super Bowl and remember what happened. That game was over after the first snap, okay? That's how quickly things can change in a game of that magnitude, with that many people watching. To have that experience, to have that know-how, how to get it done when, you know, your backs are against the wall. We've seen them do it time and time again. This is ideal, right? I mean, you head into a game like this, you've got experience, and you have the ability to win games in a myriad of different ways.
Yeah, and I think it really goes back to what John Elway saw in Super Bowl 48. We're not tough enough. We're not built around defense, and we can't expect to win with this high-flying offense. Yeah, it was fun to watch, but what John Elway did from that point forward is exactly why we're here right now, and exactly why I think the Broncos are in a great position to win this game. Do I think that they will blow away Carolina? Not at all. But I think that the table's set, and they can win a close game, to your point. We don't know if Carolina can.
Yeah. Exactly, and I think that the Broncos won't make the same mistakes in preparation for this game as they did a couple years ago.